What's up with y'all? Good morning. In today's video, we're going to be going over the legendary scientist and naturalist and television presenter, Nigel Marven. Let's get into it. If you don't know who Nigel Marven is a wildlife presenter, wildlife television presenter, biologist, naturalist, and known for his hands-on, down and dirty style of presenting, which a lot of people compare him to Steve Irwin. After graduating from the University of Bristol, Nigel Marven found his way to BBC, and he made many documentaries involving wildlife presenting and exploring different ecosystems and documenting different wild animals in their natural habitat. A lot of his famous work include being chased by dinosaurs, a documentary that was a spinoff of the Walk with Dinosaurs famous documentary series. And this series, he goes and basically finds different dinosaurs, documents them. But the whole premise of this particular series is after one particular dinosaur to study and debunk some of the mysteries behind the dinosaur. Land of Giants, he goes after to study the Argentinosaurus, the giant claw. It goes to Mongolia to unearth the secrets behind Therizinosaurus. And then Sea Monsters, that one was one of my favorites. It goes down to the seven deadliest seas throughout the history of Earth, and we track down some of the most powerful sea monsters, if you will, but marine reptiles. And this one was one of my childhood favorite shows to watch. Prehistoric Park. It's basically like a scientific, more biology-based Jurassic Park. So Nigel goes throughout prehistory and rescues animals on the brink of extinction and gives them a better chance of surviving in the modern day world. So he goes back to the Ice Age and rescues woolly mammoths, smilodon, saber-toothed cats, Microraptor, Tyrannosaurus Rex, Triceratops. He goes back and tries to bring them back to the present and put them in like a zoological facility, kind of like Jurassic Park a little bit, with less chaos and more trained scientists and biologists. And in this particular documentary called Sea Monsters, which is also a Walk with Dinosaurs spin-off miniseries, Nigel Marven goes throughout the history of life on Earth, and that goes down to the seven deadliest seas, and he studies the biggest predators and biggest threats in those seas, and which is, like I said, prehistoric wildlife such as Liopleurodon, sea scorpions, orthocones, Symbospondylus. I can go on, the list goes on and on. But like I said, Nigel Marven was a very inspirational, well, he still is, he's an inspirational person. And his hands-on, unorthodox ways of documenting wildlife is very inspiring to me. And he was one of my main favorite childhood idols. Nigel Marven is currently 65 years old and still doing amazing things involving wildlife documentaries and teaching. He also has a pet burrowing owl named Digger. If you know where that reference is from, you're goated. But like I said, Nigel Marven is a very inspirational person, and yeah, I'm happy that I watched him for countless hours in my youth and my childhood. So yeah, shout out Nigel Marven. If y'all